World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, didn't begin overnight. The seeds of war were sown in the aftermath of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles, meant to ensure peace, instead fueled resentment and instability in Germany. The treaty blamed Germany for the war and imposed harsh penalties, including territorial losses and crippling economic reparations. Meanwhile, the global economy was in turmoil. The Great Depression caused widespread unemployment and poverty, creating fertile ground for extremist ideologies. In Germany, Adolf Hitler and his Nazi party capitalized on the economic hardship and national humiliation. They promised to restore Germany to its former glory, promoting a dangerous mix of nationalism, militarism, and anti-Semitism. As the 1930s progressed, Hitler's Germany became increasingly aggressive. It violated the Treaty of Versailles by rebuilding its military and expanding its territory. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria without firing a shot. Other nations, hoping to avoid another devastating war, adopted a policy of appeasement, giving in to Hitler's demands in the hope that he would be satisfied. However, Hitler's ambitions were boundless. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland, shattering the fragile peace and plunging the world into another global conflict. World War II had begun. The invasion of Poland marked the beginning of World War II. German forces, employing their innovative blitzkrieg tactics, rapidly overwhelmed the Polish defenses. This lightning war combined fast-moving tanks with close air support, overwhelming the enemy with speed and firepower. France and Great Britain, bound by treaties to defend Poland, declared war on Germany on September 3, 1939. However, they were slow to react, and Poland fell within a month. The Soviet Union, having signed a non-aggression pact with Germany, also invaded Poland, dividing the country between the two totalitarian powers. The fall of Poland demonstrated the devastating effectiveness of Germany's military might. It also marked the beginning of a conflict that would engulf the globe, drawing in nations large and small and forever changing the course of human history. As World War II raged, the Nazi regime unleashed a campaign of terror and genocide across Europe. Driven by a hateful ideology of racial purity, Hitler and his followers targeted Jews, Roma, LGBTQ+ individuals, people with disabilities, and political opponents. The Nazis established a network of concentration camps and extermination camps across occupied Europe. Millions of innocent people were rounded up, deported, and systematically murdered in gas chambers, worked to death, or subjected to horrific medical experiments. This genocide, known as the Holocaust, stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history, a chilling reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the dangers of unchecked hatred. In the early years of the war, Germany seemed unstoppable. After conquering Poland, Hitler's armies swept through Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. By June 1940, France had fallen and Great Britain stood alone against the Nazi war machine. Undeterred, Britain, under the leadership of Prime Minister Winston Churchill, refused to surrender. In the summer of 1940, the Battle of Britain raged in the skies over England. The German Luftwaffe, seeking air superiority, launched relentless bombing raids on British cities and airfields. However, the Royal Air Force, aided by radar and the courage of its pilots, fought back with fierce determination. The Battle of Britain, though costly, proved to be a turning point in the war. It exposed the vulnerability of the German Air Force and shattered the myth of Nazi invincibility. Across occupied Europe, resistance movements emerged, defying Nazi rule. These brave individuals, often operating in secrecy and at great risk, provided intelligence, sabotaged German operations, and offered hope to those living under Nazi oppression. On June 6, 1944, the course of the war changed dramatically. Operation Overlord, better known as D-Day, began with the largest amphibious invasion in history. Allied forces led by American, British, and Canadian troops stormed the beaches of Normandy, France, breaking through German defenses and establishing a foothold in Western Europe. D-Day was a pivotal victory for the Allies, marking the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi control. The battle was fierce and costly, with thousands of Allied soldiers killed or wounded. However, their sacrifice paved the way for the eventual defeat of Germany. While the Western Allies fought their way through France, a titanic struggle was unfolding on the Eastern Front. The Soviet Union, invaded by Germany in June 1941, bore the brunt of the Nazi war machine. The fighting on the Eastern Front was some of the most brutal and costly of the entire war. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought from August 1942 to February 1943, became a turning point in the war. The Red Army, fighting with incredible tenacity, defended the city against relentless German assaults. The battle, one of the longest and bloodiest in history, resulted in staggering losses on both sides, but ultimately ended in a decisive Soviet victory. After Stalingrad, the tide of the war turned decisively against Germany on the Eastern Front. While the war raged in Europe, another conflict raged in the Pacific. Japan, seeking to establish dominance in Asia, launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii on December 7, 1941, drawing the United States into World War II. The Pacific War was characterized by fierce naval battles, island-hopping campaigns, and brutal fighting in dense jungles. The United States, under the leadership of General Douglas MacArthur and Admiral Chester Nimitz, gradually pushed back the Japanese, liberating islands like Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. The war in the Pacific culminated in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. The use of these devastating weapons, while controversial, brought a swift end to the war but ushered in the atomic age and a new era of global anxiety. Section 8. Victory and Loss, the End of a Global Conflict. After 6 long years of war, Germany surrendered to the Allies in May 1945, followed by Japan's surrender in August 1945. The world, exhausted but relieved, celebrated the end of a conflict that had claimed tens of millions of lives. Victory came at an immense cost. Millions lay dead, cities lay in ruins, and the world was forever changed. The war left an indelible mark on the human psyche, a stark reminder of the horrors of conflict and the importance of peace. Section 9. The Aftermath, a World Remade. The aftermath of World War II saw a world grappling with the war's profound consequences. The war had reshaped the global order, shattered empires, and ushered in a new era of international relations. The United Nations was formed in 1945 with the goal of preventing future wars and promoting international cooperation. The war also led to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers, setting the stage for the Cold War. A decades-long ideological and geopolitical struggle between the two. Section 10. Remembering the past, lessons from World War II. World War II serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the devastating consequences of hatred and intolerance. The war teaches us the importance of diplomacy, the need for international cooperation, and the dangers of appeasement. It also reminds us of the courage and resilience of the human spirit, as demonstrated by the bravery of soldiers on the front lines, the sacrifices of civilians on the home front, and the resistance of those who dared to oppose tyranny. Section 11. The enduring legacy, World War II's impact on the present. The legacy of World War II continues to shape the world we live in today. The war's impact can be seen in everything from the geopolitical landscape to technological advancements to cultural attitudes. World War II serves as a reminder that the past is never truly past. It is up to us to learn from the mistakes of history and work towards a future where such horrors are never repeated. By studying the past, honoring the sacrifices of those who came before us, and striving for peace and understanding, we can create a better world for generations to come.